What's going on, Sagittarius? How are you doing? Hope you're doing super well. This is the Autistic Mystic, and this is going to be your reading for the rest of January 2024. So, in this reading, Sagittarius, we're going to take a look at your overall general energy for the rest of the month. We're going to take a look at some things you do not see coming. We're also going to get some advice from your angels and spirit guides for you regarding the rest of January 2024, Sagittarius. So, before we begin this reading, as always, I do want to take a moment to let you know that you are very welcome here, Sagittarius, in this space with me as we go through this reading, and I really do appreciate you in advance for taking the time to check this reading out. Now, if this general reading does happen to resonate with you, definitely smash that like button, subscribe down below if you have not already for future updates. I would also really appreciate that over here as well, Sagittarius. So, without further ado, I'm going to pull the energy and we'll see what is coming your way for the rest of January 2024. As always, I would like to thank the angels, the interdimensional beings, and the spirit guides who are overseeing this act of divination for the sign of Sagittarius. All right, let's see what we got here. If this is... Why does this always happen? Okay. Interesting energy that you got going on here, Sagittarius, for sure. You know, there's definitely something going on with like a rite of passage to do with your career going on, like something that you're not going to be doing forever, but something that's you're going to learn something about money or about hard work or about discipline or about, and it could be in a weird way. Like, I don't know why I'm getting this. Like, you could learn, like, I'm literally getting the weirdest download ever, that you might learn about discipline from the least disciplined person ever, or like you might learn something in some sort of unconventional way that doesn't really make sense, but it's something that only you can learn. You know, like, I remember I had like an experience in college where I was like looking for these answers in books. I was looking for answers, and then I just sat down next to someone in a park. I just sat down to this old woman, and like literally she started talking, and it was like the exact answer that I was like literally searching months for, and I was just like, how? So synchronicity, I really do feel like paying attention to the little things. If you're researching, if you're searching for all these answers, it's almost like the universe is going to give it to you in a really simplistic way. You know, it's like Albert Einstein looking for the theory of relativity. It couldn't possibly just come to me in my mind, or it couldn't just come through that venue. So some of you just need to be aware of that. For sure. And some of you may need to go travel to get that bag. Some of you need to get out of your home. Make money moves, expansion is key for you. But I don't know, before we get into the tarot, let's go ahead and start this reading off with some pre-shuffled oracle cards. And these oracle cards, Sagittarius, contain the energy that you need more of for January 2024. And the first one you have is Leo. So this has to do with extroversion, right? Leo loves being the center of attention, a little bit of a fiery persona. So on the one hand, many of you, the universe is calling you to connect with a Leo. If a Leo does cross your path, if you're dealing with a Leo in love, if you have a Leo love prospect, it would probably be wise to deal with it, to look at it, to express it. But for many of you, I feel like this is you, like, you could also have something to learn from a Leo. And they could give you something that you're not trying to learn from them, but then they teach you the thing that you actually wanted, but they're trying to explain something else. I'm going to stop ranting about that. Leo energy. So don't be afraid to get out of the house. You know, extroversion. Force yourself to be social for some of you, because I really feel like you're going to learn a lot in not reading, not like, I don't know why I get the sensation, like, you know, you can only develop your philosophy from books to a certain extent. At some point, you're going to have some real experience, even if you force yourself to have it. You know, I remember I did this thing where I went into New York City, and as like a rite of passage, I did tarot readings in Central Park. I shouldn't even count this because I literally backed out. I literally sat there for like 20 minutes and was like, this is stupid, I'm done. I was like, I'm going to do readings in Central Park to initiate myself into tarot and have to do readings for people before anyone knew who I was or whatever. And then like after 20 minutes, I was like, I didn't even do a reading for anyone. It was so stupid. I just went home. But the idea is do that. So like, I don't know. You also have Uranus and change and new beginnings. So Uranus is, you know, the planet that rules Aquarius. So there could be a little bit of Aquarius. And it's interesting that you have that Leo Aquarius axis, because the opposite of Leo is Aquarius. The opposite of Aquarius is Leo. So maybe something to do with Leo Aquarius, the polarity between them going on here. But Uranus has to do with a little bit of randomness. It does have to do with being erratic, chance encounters as well. It does include synchronicity, but it also has to do with the future. Uranus really doesn't care about the past. They're more Uranus energy is hyper-fixated on the future, things like technology, things like forward thinking, and being original, being innovative as well. So I really feel like the idea of being a little bit socially extrovertedly weird, letting it all hang out, you know, because you never know when you're going to meet someone who just gets you, you know. But sometimes if you don't put yourself out there, no one will know who you really are. So really putting your weird self, putting your original ideas out there and seeing where they fall. There also may be something about you through the idea of conversation, particularly the idea of long-form conversation, not just watching a podcast, but going out into the park and having a conversation with someone in a podcast manner where it's like an hour long. I think you're going to get a lot of downloads and insight and experience a lot of synchronicity through conversation. And like the very thing that I said, you're going to receive a lot of answers that you weren't looking for in the place that you went to, but you may have been searching for years. And you're going to find it through... I'm going to stop harping on that, though. So Leo and Uranus, don't be afraid to get out of the house and get weird. You know, give your experiments to the world. You also have Virgo, the alchemist. So some of you also may have to do with Virgo. But looking at your overall general energy, I feel like this is more to do with the idea of service, because Virgo has to do with service, precision, being very detail-oriented, being very clean, health-oriented. Some of you are being called to focus on your health a little bit, you know, because whenever you're really gearing up to be more, to make a big change in work or just to be more productive, make more money than usual, I think that's something happening. A lot of you are going to be making a lot more money than you're usually used to, you know, so keeping health in mind, but also precision. You know, Uranus and Virgo, I mean, this energy is just oddly, eccentrically precise. So, like, be detailed, be weird, but be specific in your weirdness as well. This isn't something that's, like, the universe isn't calling you to be like, I like turtles. He told me to be extroverted and weird. I like turtles. No, it's going to be more like, do you want to, no. So, Virgo. There also could be a Virgo that you're connecting with here, but I feel like it's more like the idea of, and for some of you here, this is the idea of really pushing what you got out there and meeting people and being extroverted. Like, no one's going to come knock on your door and be like, hey, I heard you have this brilliant idea. No, you're going to have to force it. You know, this could be the idea of just really a lot of extroverted communication that also has to do with service. And it could have to do with, you know, going door to door. If I were to look at this, Virgo, Uranus, and Leo, hi, ma'am, do you want me to... It just snowed out. You want me to... I know you could get your old hag of a husband to break his back and have a heart attack, you know, doing snow removal. Or I'm that little kid who's just going to be the extrovert. I know I never met you, but can I please use my new contraption, my new snowmobile, Uranus, my new snowmobile contraption to get the snow out of here, please? And the lady's like, all right, here, kid, here's $20. See, but if you just sat home and you just did video games and you weren't extroverted, none of that would have happened. So the idea of putting it out there for the world to see. And this could also have to do with something like bold predictions, being bold, you came here to be bold and weird, you know, because weird, if you look at the etymology of the word weird, which a lot of people would associate with Uranus, it has to do with the one who controls fate. So if you're weird, you're the one in control. Don't let it get twisted here. So let's go ahead and get into the tarot. Your opportunity is the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords here generally has to do with logic, the intellect, the mind. And we're going to have to clarify why it's your opportunity. But it is interesting. There could be some sort of woman who is very smart, who's going to help you. This could be your opportunity. So be on the lookout for like a smart woman. I don't know. This also could be something happening in love for the Sagittarius men. There could be or you're interested in a woman. There could be an air sign woman. That's your opportunity. We're going to have to see. But I really feel like this is really being a very actively, mentally active. Also putting up a boundary. But I feel like it's more so just like keep on keeping on. Uranus and Leo. Just weird extrovert. But we're going to have to clarify. Now, your challenge is the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles has to do with slow-moving energy, doing the discipline, doing everything the hard way. And it's kind of like an energy where you're not really where you want to be in your career, or there's still stuff that you have, going on. For some of you, this could have to do with a relationship that's developing a little bit too slowly for your liking. But I feel like you're going to be so focused on career for the most part that it shouldn't be that much of a burden. But I don't know. We're going to have to see why. It is interesting to me that like what you need more of is the extroversion card, and then you have 2 court cards in your opportunity and your challenge. So it is a little bit of a sub message that your opportunity and your challenge, good and bad, have to do with people. They just have to do with people, and so please don't be afraid to, pitch your ideas to people. I feel like the Knight of Pentacles in your challenge, there could be an idea of you wanting to go so fast, or there could be an idea of having to consciously slow down as a result of things going so fast, because your advice is to move fast. Your challenge is the Knight of Pentacles, so we're going to have to see why that is. But I really like this month for you, Sagittarius. I feel like there's going to be a lot of productivity and a lot of money to be made. And it's almost like the frequency that I'm getting from this reading is like an old saying. Whoever screams the loudest gets heard the most. Whoever screams the loudest gets heard the most. So, if you're wondering, like, why are things not going? Like, have you really tried? Have you really been a Leo? Have you really DM'd as many people as you could? Have you really knocked door to door? Have you done it Gary Vaynerchuk style or no? Or are you just like, I tried to post this on Instagram 3 times and it didn't work. Or I tried to run this business. I feel like there's just going to be this overwhelmed sense of like all things are clicking now. And I'm just kind of making fun of you. I'm poking fun. But your overall general energy of the King of Pentacles, the 8 of Pentacles, and the 4 of Wands. So I feel like there could be something you're doing in work that's not going to be permanent, because the 4 of Wands has to do with a rite of passage. It also has to do with soul family and a celebration of sorts. So I feel like you actually are going to be very happy. As long as you're working, as long as you're being extroverted, as long as you're putting metal to the grindstone, you're going to be pretty happy here. I feel like there's going to be key people, though. Key people that are going to help expand your work. So make sure you don't do it alone. Make sure you don't just sit in a dark room. You got to be extroverted here. And not just, maybe with technology, because you do have Uranus. So I'm talking crap, like get out of the house. But I mean, to be fair, you do have Leo, extrovert, social, and Uranus, which has to do with technology. So for some of you, maybe you're doing it from the technology room, but hey, I don't know. And then when it comes to what you don't see coming, you have the Judgment card, the Justice card, and the 7 of Cups. And that's really interesting here. There could be something that you need to decide. I don't know why I feel like you're going to decide how you're going to punish. That sounds real weird. But I don't see like any like sort of big problems. So I feel like as a result, there could be something that emotionally confuses you and what you don't see coming, right? This is for what you don't see coming, but I don't know why this is also coming through as something that happened to you in the past. There could have been a really emotionally confusing situation, Sagittarius, in the past, that maybe you feel like you were played, or maybe you feel like there was justice that was wrong. And there could be a feeling of like navigating, like now that you have your flow, now that you have your swagger back, now that it's like, how do I want to deal with this? How do I want to put justice to this discernment? I got this download about I need to put it right, but I don't know how to do it. And for a lot of you, this is in what you don't see coming. So this could also have to do with ethics or a legal situation that's overhanging your head potentially. There could be a legal situation for a lot of you that's causing you a lot of disturbance. So make sure that everything is like you're paying your taxes, everything is in order in that way. Like, because if you are making a lot of money, make sure that's all in order, because there could be an emotional disturbance here as well. For a lot of you as well, I don't know, there also could be someone who, I don't know, we're going to have to clarify that. That's sort of throwing me. The judgment, and whenever the double J, JJ, judgment, justice in the major arcana are next to each other, that's usually like a pretty intense spiritual situation. So, I don't know. We're going to have to clarify that. But then let's just go to the advice. I mean, it's to be grounded and enthusiastic. You have, in your advice, the Queen of Pentacles, go and get that bag. Please, this is your opportunity to make a lot of money this month. You have the Eight of Wands, which is about speed, open communication, travel. You also have the Knight of Wands, which is about exploration. This is Sagittarius. Whenever I see the Knight of Wands, I usually think Sagittarius energy. The one thing that I would say about you, Sagittarius, what is the one thing that I could say about Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter? You do have a tendency to promise more than you actually deliver. You do have a tendency to talk more than you actually deliver. But in this case, this is what you're meant to do this month. I'm giving you the excuse to be the Jupiter who actually promises more than they deliver. And perhaps for a lot of you, there could be a situation where you find yourself in a situation where you're making a lot of money, or things are going good in the earth way, but you could get yourself in this position by talking a really good game. And I'm not even saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying that if you have an opportunity to challenge yourself and to say, you know what, I don't know if I'm really ready for this job, but I'm just gonna talk like I am. Usually, the thing about Jupiter though, and Sagittarius, is like usually you do succeed because you just believe. Maybe you overextend, you promise more than you deliver, but because of your belief, you make up for it. So this month, I really feel like it's like the gift of the gab and selling yourself to other people. You know, selling yourself, hey, no one's going to be more enthusiastic than me. No one's going to make this larger than life than me. And especially when it comes to money, or when it comes to travel or new opportunities on the horizon, you really need to sell yourself in the best positive light, but in a way that's like not that, like, it has to be grounded. But I'm seeing a pattern here for a lot of you. There's two different camps of you. For some of you Sagittarius is out there that have achieved a lot of success. I'm talking like a lot of success. There could be this idea that you need to slow down because it's coming off as corny. That's the one danger of being a Sagittarius, is you start to become corny because people can, like, you're promising this big show and it's like there's no substance here. Or for a lot of you that are Sagittariuses, that money is no issue for you. Money is no issue, and you're doing your thing. There isn't a question of ethics. There is, because in what you don't see coming, of the Judgment card, the Justice card, and the Seven of Cups, and this could even be whether you're talking yourself into making more money, whether things are going good in career. In what you don't see coming, now that I look at it like this, Sagittarius, for a lot of you, there's this question of ethics, good, wrong, right, bad. Well, I know I didn't have the qualifications for that job, but I just talked like I did, and therefore I got the job, and now I'm in the position, and it's actually going well, but do I deserve it? Because I just kind of talked myself into it. You have an opportunity to talk your way into something that may be a little bit premature, expand your growth for some of you. For others of you, though, that have already made a lot of money, maybe you're already a big star, you're already whatever, Sagittarius, you know who you are. I'm literally telling you, you better slow down, or else you want to look like a cornball that has no substance. You better rethink what you're doing, your opportunity, the Queen of Swords, rethinking your service here, whatever it is. Because if you're just someone who promises transformation, you have no method, ooh, you know what I mean? And like, I can do an astrology reading for you right now. I can look at your 10 nearest aspects. I can make you cry a river of these things, specifically, detail, Virgo. So what you need is more detailed. You need to be more extrovertedly detailed. But that doesn't mean that you just sweep the details under the rug. No, you can't do that. So whether it's different depending on what type of Sagittarius, where you are in life. Because you definitely do have the opportunity to talk a big game. But I do feel like there's like this, you don't want to look foolish at the same time as well. Especially if you've already, like, you don't want to do that. So I don't know. This is just what I'm getting for you, Sagittarius. So, because for some of you that have not gained the success that you really want, you're going to have to use the gift of the gab. Over-promise, over-deliver, because you're going to get yourself in the door that you need to get into for your expansion. But for those of you that have already over-promised, you've already over-delivered, now you're like, well, what's the new, like, this is just, what is this? you're going to have to go back to the details, get more specific, more service-oriented, focus on how can I help other people. Virgo is about helping. Leo is about extroverted. How can I really, really help them in a pinpointed, authentic, innovative way, original way? Because like sometimes as Sagittarius, you could just like gather information and just regurgitate it all day. But at a certain point, you're going to have to become someone who says, this is, what is your capacity? What is your capacity for original thought? So because there's a difference between thoughts and ideas. And just lean into your uniqueness, please. Because some of you as well, like, if you're already the Sagittarius that's already made it, like, you have these unique things. I'm not saying you're all talk. Like, you just don't deliver it. You just keep that for yourself. You need to stop keeping that for yourself and give people the real stuff. Okay? So, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying. You don't want to hear that, do you? Sorry. I'm just too real. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and let's clarify why the Eight of Pentacles is here. Actually, no. Let's just... Hold on. Let's clarify why the Queen of Swords is in your opportunity. Bite off more than you can chew. But I feel like, once again... Yeah, once again, it really is dependent on what type of Sagittarius. Have you attained the career success that you've written it down and you manifested or not? It's totally two different things. For some of you, you're over-promising, you're over-delivering, your lack of thoroughness, and you're just like, oh, it's all great. It's really going to come back to bite you, and people are going to start to notice it. And it's going to actually lead to your lack of security. So if you're already a Sagittarius who's doing well, who's made it, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, money's not everything. People make it in different areas. So please don't think that I'm just painting you in black and white. But for some of you, you really need to look at like how you're over promising, biting off more than you can chew is now starting to come back to bite you in terms of karma. But for others of you who are just kind of like, hey, I'm not really that proud of myself. Like I need to, then you need to really start running that lip and say, screw my security. Hey, I got this. I'm a Sagittarius. And it's going to lead to a lot of good relationships for you, like I said in the beginning of this reading. So let's also clarify. Let's just jump to the real interesting stuff. Let's clarify what the Justice card is here. Why is the Justice card here in what you don't see coming? The Justice card and what you don't see coming is clarified by the Hierophant, the Page of Swords, and also the Fool. So definitely questioning some sort of tradition with Uranus and Leo and the Fool here and the Justice card. You're definitely divinely protected to question authority and to bring the new spiritual energy into the world, to disregard and potentially to bring structure into the spiritual. But the Fool and the Hierophant are like seemingly different things. But you know what? If you want to look at an example of who combines the Fool and the Hierophant into one beautiful thing, it would probably be the autistic mystic, because some muggles out there just look at this autistic dumbass. Other people are like, look at this, like literally Jesus. So it's like, we do it all over here. But then you have this who's questioning everything I damn say. Some of you don't believe anything I damn say. Who am I? I don't know. It's one of the other folks. No, it's not. I'm my own person. And so I feel like you're divinely protected to question authority, but for many of you, you need to question your own authority. I don't know. My own projections have entered the reading past the point of effectiveness. Let's clarify the Judgment, more information. Why is the Judgment card here? Go fast. Yes, definitely. Like, I feel like there's something about a rite of passage here. You have the Knight of Swords, fast-moving energy, to the Four of Wands here. A rite of passage here. There's definitely something you need to do differently than you've been doing, especially when it comes to being extroverted, service, and original. And so don't be afraid to really... Well, hold on. let's also, Sagittarius, let's also, you know what? I don't feel like I got it anymore. See, you got to know when you have it and you don't. I feel like I always have it, but I feel like I've given you the bulk of what you needed to understand for January 2024. And so, Sagittarius, with that being said, I'm going to conclude this reading. I actually think no matter what, you're going to have a great January. You are. But just be aware of these dynamics. So with that being said, I'll talk to you next time.